Who should elderly people live with, and did you think it could affect their health and how long they live? It's not just about having company or saving money, it's about trust, comfort, and whether the people around you help you feel more like yourself. After 70, the daily rhythms of life change, your energy levels shift. You notice what matters more and what doesn't, and suddenly something as basic as who's across the kitchen table becomes one of the most important decisions you'll make. Some people find peace living alone. Others feel their best with someone nearby, even if it's just for laughter, shared meals, or a little help reaching the high shelf. The question isn't whether you should live with someone. It's who makes life feel more supported, more manageable, and more meaningful. In this video, we're going to explore 6 types of people older adults often live with and what makes those living arrangements work. These aren't just practical tips. They're emotional and deeply human choices that affect how safe you feel, how much freedom you have, and how connected you stay to the world around you. Stay with me through the end, because you might discover something new about the kind of living situation that would actually bring you more peace, not just today, but in the years ahead. Let's begin. Number 1. A caring adult child who respects your independence. For many older adults, living with a grown son or daughter feels like the most natural step, especially if health concerns or mobility issues have started to show up. And when that relationship is built on trust, love, and clear communication, it can work beautifully. Daily help is close by. You don't have to worry about groceries, rides to appointments, or long stretches of loneliness. But the key word in all of this is, too often older parents move in with their children and find themselves quietly pushed into the background. Their routines get overridden, their opinions get brushed aside, and little by little, they feel less like a parent and more like a guest in someone else's home. That's why what matters most isn't blood, it's balance. If you have a child who truly understands your need for space, who still sees you as capable and wise, and who includes you in household decisions without making you feel like a burden, that can be a deeply comforting arrangement. You gain peace of mind knowing someone's there if you fall or feel unwell, but you also hold on to something just as important, your dignity. I remember a woman named Linda, 78, who moved in with her daughter after a fall. She said, "I was nervous. At first, I thought I'd lose myself, but my daughter asked me where I wanted the furniture, asked what time I liked my tea, even gave me a key to the house like it was mine too. That made all the difference. Of course, it doesn't work for everyone. Sometimes the personalities clash. Sometimes the house is too loud, too crowded, or just not the right fit. But if your adult child is emotionally mature, patient, and genuinely wants to support, not control you, the result can be something special, a household where you feel both safe and seen, and that's the kind of home money can't buy. Number 2, a dependable sibling or close relative with shared history. There's something uniquely comforting about living with someone who's known you for most of your life. A sibling, a cousin, even a lifelong family friend. They don't just help with meals or medication. They remember who you were before the world got loud and complicated. They know your stories. They've seen you through seasons of joy and struggle, and that shared history can bring a kind of emotional ease that no hired caregiver or roommate ever could. When older adults live with someone from their own generation, someone who understands the cultural references, who remembers the same precedents, or who grew up with the same family traditions, it often creates an environment of deep mutual understanding. You don't have to explain yourself, you don't have to perform. You can just be. I once met 2 sisters, Ruth and Elaine, ages 80 and 83, who had both outlived their spouses. Instead of going separate ways, they chose to live together again, just like they had in their 20s. Ruth told me we bicker over silly things like the thermostat, but at the end of the day, no one else knows me like she does. This kind of setup isn't about dependency, it's about companionship. It helps with practical needs. Sure. But more than that, it reduces the quiet ache of being unseen or misunderstood. It reminds you that you still belong to someone, that there's still a person on this earth who sees you as you are. not just as an elderly person needing help. And for many seniors, that simple feeling of being emotionally known, of sharing meals, memories, and even silences with someone who understands is more valuable than any luxury retirement plan. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 2 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now let's move forward. Number 3, a fellow senior or trusted friend. As a roommate, there's a growing number of older adults who are choosing not to live alone, but also not to live with family. Instead, they're pairing up with friends, former co-workers, or other seniors who simply want the same thing: connection without obligation. These arrangements aren't about caregiving, they're about community. 2 people sharing space, expenses, and conversation while still maintaining their own lives and routines. This kind of roommate setup can be especially meaningful for those who have outlived a spouse or never married. It keeps the home from feeling too quiet. It brings laughter into the kitchen. And it allows both people to age on their own terms, side by side, but not entangled. There's something deeply human about having someone to say good morning to, even if the rest of your day is spent independently, and for many, that single point of contact, just knowing there's another soul nearby, can be the difference between isolation and stability. I remember 2 friends, Marvin and George, who met through a community center and decided to move in together after both had health scares. Marvin said, "We split the groceries, take turns making coffee, and leave each other alone when we need space. It's not complicated, it's just comfortable." Of course, compatibility matters. It's important to choose someone who shares your values around cleanliness, communication, and quiet. But when the fit is right, the benefits go beyond saving money. You create an environment where each person brings a sense of purpose to the other, not through caregiving, but through steady presence. And in a world where so many older adults feel invisible, that presence can be healing. It reminds you that you're still part of something shared. Your life, your thoughts, your laughter, they still echo in someone else's daily rhythm, and that sometimes is all the medicine you need. Number 4, a younger relative or helper who offers mutual support. Sometimes the best living arrangement isn't with someone your own age. It's with someone, a generation or 2 younger, who brings energy, practical help, and a fresh perspective. This could be a grandchild, a niece or nephew, or even a trusted young adult who isn't related by blood but is bonded by mutual respect. What makes this dynamic work is an age-it's agreement, a shared understanding that both people bring something valuable to the table. In many of these situations, the younger person receives reduced rent or free housing in exchange for helping with errands, driving, or household upkeep. And in return, the older adult gets to stay in their own home longer, often with more ease, more safety, and more peace of mind. There's also something emotionally uplifting about being around someone younger. Their music, their stories, their pace. It can breathe new life into your days, not because you need to keep up, but because you get to witness life from a different angle. And sometimes that's all it takes to shake off the fog of routine. I knew a woman named Janice, 82, who opened her home to her grandson's friend Daniel. He was 26 and working nights while trying to save for school. He helped with groceries, shoveled the walk, and fixed the Wi-Fi when it glitched. Janice told me he doesn't hover and I don't nag. We just exist kindly next to each other, and that's the beauty of it. When set up with clear boundaries and mutual respect, this kind of intergenerational living can foster learning, warmth, and even joy. You share stories, swap life skills, and create a home that's rooted in generosity, not obligation. Of course, trust is key. The arrangement should be written out with expectations on both sides. But when done thoughtfully, this kind of setup reminds you that you're not just receiving help, you're offering something valuable in return, and that's something no paycheck can match. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 4 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now let's move forward. Number 5. A professional live-in caregiver for daily assistance and peace of mind. There comes a time in some people's lives when the everyday tasks like bathing, cooking, or remembering medication start to feel more overwhelming than they used to. And while friends and family might try to help, they may not always be trained, available, or equipped to handle the job. That's where a professional living caregiver can make all the difference, not just in physical support, but in the comfort of knowing someone is there who truly knows what they're doing. These caregivers aren't just assistants, they're trained observers. They know how to spot early signs of infection, how to help you move without causing pain, and how to keep your space safe and your routine steady. For many older adults, this brings a level of calm that no amount of visits from relatives can quite replicate. But perhaps the most underestimated part of living with a caregiver is the relationship that can develop when there's consistency, kindness, and mutual respect. This kind of setup can blossom into something quietly beautiful, a rhythm of daily life that feels dignified, not dependent. I remember a man named Edward, 84, who resisted the idea of a caregiver for years when he finally hired one, Maria, a woman in her 50s. He told me 2 months later, "She doesn't just make sure I take my pills. She listens. She treats me like a person, not a checklist that meant everything to him." Now, of course, this kind of arrangement requires careful planning. Finances, agency support, and background checks all matter. But for those with chronic conditions or limited mobility, the presence of a professional in the home can reduce emergency room visits, help you stay in your home longer, and offer your family peace of mind they didn't know they needed. It's not a loss of independence, it's a shift in how independence looks. Because sometimes the strongest decision you can make isn't doing everything on your own. It's knowing when to bring someone in who can help you do it better. With skill, with care, and with a heart that honors your age, your needs, and your right to feel safe exactly where you are. Number 6. A compatible person who honors your rhythm, not just your needs. At the heart of every good living arrangement is one quiet truth. The best person to live with isn't always the one you expect. It's not just about family. It's not just about who can lift heavy things or drive you to appointments. It's about how that person makes you feel in your own space. Do they respect your need for quiet? Do they speak to you like an equal? Do they let you be you, or do you feel like you're always adjusting to them? Living with someone in your later years means sharing more than just meals or bills. It means sharing mornings, moods, energy levels, and the spaces in between. And if the person you live with doesn't understand or respect your natural rhythm, whether that's your sleep schedule, your prayer time, or your need for afternoon silence, the days can start to feel like a slow erosion of comfort. But when someone does respect your rhythm, everything softens, you feel safer, you laugh more easily, you take deeper breaths, and most of all, you feel like your home still belongs to you. I once met a man named Joseph, 79, who lived with a neighbor's daughter in her early 40s. She helped with shopping and light cooking in exchange for a private room. But what struck him most wasn't the help. It was how she never pushed, never hovered, never made him feel like a project. He said, "She knows I like breakfast, quiet. She doesn't talk over my baseball games, and when I nap, she checks that the door's locked, then disappears. That's how I know I can trust her." That's the kind of harmony that doesn't come from titles. It comes from temperament. So whether you're considering a child, a cousin, a friend, or someone entirely unexpected, remember, the right person to live with is the one who doesn't make you explain your preferences. Every day they notice, they adjust, and they leave you feeling not just cared for, but understood. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 6 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now, let's move forward. Final thoughts? Yes, Jordan and Vern. By now, you've seen just how many paths there are when it comes to deciding who to live with later in life, and maybe you've realized something important. There's no one-size-fits-all answer. The best living arrangement isn't always the most obvious one. It's the one where you feel respected, the one where your needs are met. But so is your sense of self. Some people thrive in multi-generational homes. Others find peace with an old friend. Still others prefer a quiet, steady presence nearby. Who knows when to help and when to step back? What matters isn't the title of the person you live with. It's the quality of the relationship you share. Think about your values, your energy, your boundaries. Then think about who in your life might complement, not challenge those things, because home is more than four walls. It's the feeling you get when you walk through the door and realize you can exhale. And if no one in your current circle feels like the right fit, don't lose hope. There are more options than ever, from senior co-housing and roommate matching programs to in-home companion services and intergenerational housing networks. The key is being open, curious, honest about what you need, and brave enough to ask for it. A good living arrangement after 70 isn't about giving up freedom. It's about finding the kind of support that lets you keep it for longer. You deserve a space that feels like yours. You deserve relationships that feel steady, and above all, you deserve to feel at home in every sense of the word. Thank you for joining us today. We'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment below and share one thing you learned today and how you plan to use it in your life. Your thoughts are important to us, so don't hesitate to share them. Reading your comments gives us great motivation and encouragement. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please like, subscribe, and share your support. Helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Thanks for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.